In this channel, I often show my 24,000 dividend portfolio on a monthly basis, giving you updates on my holdings, dividends received, and performance. But did you know that I have another 5-figure portfolio that I have never talked about in this channel? Well, the reason for that is because that portfolio is boring and straight to the point. But at the same time, the way the money is invested in this account is what creates wealth over a long period of time. The portfolio is currently sitting at $14,582.27. In terms of performance, the fund has done a remarkable job, bringing double-digit returns as we zoom out in time. The data is only up to March 2024, but we can appreciate that year-to-date is up 10.55%, 1 year 29.86%, and 3 years 11.48%. The 5 and 10-year mark is not displayed due to the fund being fairly new and added as an option to this account. Since inception, it has brought 16.12% return. The fund that all this money is invested in, it's the Vanguard Institutional 500 Index Trust. This fund seeks to track the performance of a benchmark index that measures the investment return of large capitalization stocks. In other words, this fund follows closely the S&P 500. The Standard & Poor's 500, or S&P 500 for short, is a stock market index that tracks the performance of 500 of the biggest companies in the United States. In the screen, you can see the 500 companies divided within their sectors. The bigger the square, the larger is the market cap of the company inside the fund. Now, to be part of the S&P 500, company must meet certain criteria, and those are being a US company, having a market cap of at least $15.8 billion, having at least 50% of shares available on the exchange, being traded on a major US exchange, having positive earnings in the most recent quarter and over the previous 4 quarters, and having traded at least 250,000 daily shares in the 6 months prior to inclusion. The benefits of investing in a fund that tracks the S&P 500 is that it's easy, cost-effective, and reliable. Easy because all you need to do is put the money while a manager does the work passively. Effective because it's a diversified fund with risk management, exposure to the best 500 companies, and very minimal turnover. And reliable because it gives you a good return that most investors can beat if they pick individual stocks. Something that I personally like about this specific fund is the expense ratio. There are different S&P 500 ETF out there and other ETF that don't follow the S&P 500. Regardless of that, every ETF must pay an expense ratio fee. Some pay 0.04%, 0.06%, or even up to 1%. For this S&P 500 fund, the expense ratio is 0.0105%, which is extremely good in my opinion. It is virtually free. Just like investments compound over time, expense ratios are the same. So it's important to pick the best fund with the best expense ratio fee for your investment journey. In this example, I use small numbers, 0.01%, 0.05%, and 0.10%. Despite being small amounts and close to each other, they have a difference of a couple of thousands of dollars. So imagine comparing 0.01% to 0.50%, for example. The difference will be bigger than the ones in this example. Performance-wise, the S&P has brought good returns on your invested capital. Despite having certain years when the market goes down, it ranges from 6 to 10% on average, depending on the period. Most of the time, the market goes up, especially holding for a long period of time. Turning back to why I don't show this portfolio, it is boring and straight to the point. Nothing drastically really happens here. I just invest the money and the rest is done automatically. I really don't need to do anything else. No changes, no selling, no analysis, no constant monitoring, literally nothing. Just invest, sit back, and relax. However, this boring method has allowed tons of investors to retire with at least $1 million, assuming that they started investing at age 18 and stop at 65. And even if you didn't start at 18, you will be doing better than most people who have never invested or people who are trying to time the market. So that will be it for this short video. Thank you for watching. If you made it to this part, hit like and subscribe if you haven't, and I'll see you in the next one.